We want to welcome you this morning to the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting for today, August 29, 2017. Present are Commissioner Flores, Precinct 3, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what is best for Hidalgo County. We ask your blessings and your guidance. We also ask for your blessing and guidance for all those affected by this horrible natural disaster, Hurricane Harvey. And we may all find it in our hearts to be generous to those who need it most. In your name we pray.
Amen. Any concerns with the consent agenda?
No, sir, there are no concerns with the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, we do have Rudy Gonzalez in the audience. Item 14, if we could expedite.
Good morning, Judge.
Rudy.
Judge, I'll read the item just for the record, and then
Okay. Yes, sir.
the judge can make a presentation. Item 14A is authorization and approval of the 30-day grant extension for the Domestic Violence Court Grant, grant number 3110404. This is just a no-cost 30-day extension. Judge, would you like to say more?
Good morning, Mr. Vera. Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good news and good news. First good news is that we got an extension from the Governor's Office, a no-cost extension, so that the grant monies can be allocated for this next month to finish out the grant that was provided last year. The other good news is that we also got notice from the Governor's Office that a grant for next year for the domestic violence has been approved as well. So that means that we're not going to be asking the Commissioner's Court to provide any monetary assistance for the grant. So we're good for another year. I'm going to continue trying my best beginning on February of next year to get it approved for the following year. And so it's a good program. We have 15 individuals already participating on the domestic violence court, and we have another 5 that are waiting approval. So just wanted to let you know on that. I appreciate your approval.
Just to make sure we can have approval of that extension.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. We'll bring back the item for the approval of the new grant on the next Commissioner's Court.
All right, sir.
Thank you. And I'm going to get back to my...
Congratulations.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Moving back to item number 5, Constable Precinct 2.
Judge, if I may, for the constable, they're asking under their rifle resistant body armor grant program. This is under Fund 1284. They're asking authorization approval to apply for the rifle resistant body armor grant program with the Office of Criminal Justice Division, which is the JP.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Second would be authorization for the county judge to sign the required documents under e-grants as authorized official.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 6.
Good morning.
Precinct.
Out of the Precinct 4, item IA 61304, authorization for the rifle body armor grant program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We also need to.
Move for approval of 6A2.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And Judge, just for the record, Commissioner Cantu has joined us.
All right, item number 7.
Good morning, Joel Rivera, Division Chief on behalf of Sheriff Rivera. Agenda item 7A, discussion, consideration, and action in accordance with Hidalgo County Civil Service Commission rules for the following employee 121436 to be paid out for accrued compensatory time holiday and annual leave, employee transfer to HIDA grant-funded position.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 8, Mr. Guerra.
Item 8, under 8A1, update on ongoing county-owned building construction, relocation, renovation project, repair projects. Judge, Commissioners, I do have one thing to report. The the renovation to JP Precinct 3 office has commenced. There have been a couple of calls with respect to the constituents wanting information with respect to if they have any business to take care of, would they be penalized. We've assured them, and we've sent out media releases that there would be no penalty, and the adjacent JP is available for consultation and or recommendations. But that renovation should be completed within the next 2 weeks. 8A2, emergency situations, occurrences, last agenda item meeting. Judge, Commissioners, I do want to bring everybody up to speed with respect to the emergency preparations that we undertook in the last week or so, and the current emergency situation that we have in as a result of Hurricane Harvey and the assistance that's been requested to the county. I see Mr. Caso in the audience. I want to ask Mr. Caso if he could please speak a little on the issue with respect to all the preparations the county undertook. As they say, it's better to be prepared than not prepared. Mr. Caso.
So, good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Sorry about it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And we're very thankful that Harvey really didn't come directly to the valley. Can you please maximize the slide in the bottom right? There's a little square. I don't know. We've got a presentation here where we're going to recap the efforts that we did at Precinct 4 to try to mitigate some of the damage that Harvey could have caused. On August 22nd, we learned that there was a storm event at the time, Harvey, that was fast approaching. At that time, we started creating sandbags for distribution because of the experiences that we've had in the past. And over the next couple of days, we partnered with a lot of our local partners, the Drainage District, the other precincts, our emergency management, and essentially for the whole week was a huge effort to make sure that all our drains were working properly, that all the emergency response teams were in place, and we put together a tremendous effort. I think we've got a small clip in the next slide. Can we go to the next slide? There we go. Can you click on the video? But over 30,000 sandbags were distributed within 3 days at the Precinct 4 field operations offices. We had thousands of people come in. Commissioner Palacios was there day and night with the efforts. Let's see if I guess the clip didn't go through, but the important thing was that we were able to respond to the community. They really wanted the sandbags, and we were able to respond. Thanks in large part to a partnership that we had with the sheriff's office, with the constable's office, with the drainage district, as well as with the Robert Vela High School basketball and volleyball students that came out to support us in the endeavor. I guess the lesson here is that we need to be ready. We just so happened that Harvey took a spin to the north, but this could have been a truly catastrophic event, and we're going to continue coordinating. And Commissioner Palacios, as the president of the Southern Commission of Judges and Commissioners is already extended his resources to some of the hard-hit communities, and particularly today, Precinct 4 is going to have several crews go and help out with some of the humanitarian efforts. So I know the other precincts are working hard on that, and I want to thank Chief Saldaña and everybody else that's been working hard on that.
Yeah, if I can add, out of the 30, we realized that most of the residents that were coming were residents from McAllen, Edmond. We even had people coming from Harlingen, Judge. They were all obviously anticipating the worst. Thank God we didn't get the worst. But I think at this point, I was in Rockport this weekend on Sunday, and there's a lot of those counties, Aransas Pass, and they're just ultimately devastated. It's hard to imagine. You see pictures, but I think if you just take a moment and drive up there, you'd see the utter devastation that they're experiencing. One of the things that we're more concerned about is those smaller counties that are going to be overlooked just because of what's happening in Harris County. But I appreciate the emergency management, all the staff and all the precincts gathering some of the resources and getting ready to head out there to help as much as we can.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, I was going to ask Mayor Suarez if he could maybe talk a little with respect to the efforts in your area, Commissioner.
Sure. Mayor, do you mind coming up here, please? Would you, are you talking about what we did as a county?
Yes, as a county emergency and all the efforts from your area.
You know,
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Go ahead and give an update on what we did as far as a precinct, and maybe even expand on that as what you did as a city, and how we work together with emergency management in the area to be prepared for this event.
My pleasure. We got prepared as with all the precincts here in Hidalgo County, and we went ahead and collaborated with Wesco also, and then we started the EOC in Wesco in the afternoon, and I think simultaneously the county, Precinct 1 and Wesco distributed sandbags, and I think combined with in Precinct 1 and in the city of Wesco, we distributed around 34 to 35,000 sandbags. And we made a huge effort with the drainage district and the precinct go out there with the drainage ditches and make sure everything was cleared and reassured the residents. And it was a big effort. The whole Precinct 1 staff was out there doing sandbags along with the commissioner and just responding back to the citizens and just to reassure them that we were trying to prepare and do whatever we could to be ready for this. We're fortunate enough that we dodged the bullet, and we're lessons learned, and we're going to continue to build on that.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the emergency management personnel out of Wesco, because their Chief Lopez over there does an amazing job of getting his staff prepared. And they extended all of their resources to us, and I'm very thankful for that. It allowed us to communicate. We communicated with all the mayors there. We assisted them with sand and sandbags so that they could distribute to their communities as well. So I think our outreach was far more than what we
And we also,
directly.
to add, Commissioner, we also had we had assistance from Wesco. We had a couple 12-inch pumps that were set up at the levees to be prepared, a good exercise. We did try those out. They went out there, and we observed that firsthand, and we're ready to go ahead and pump water over the levee, and we did a little bit of that to be prepared. So it was a good exercise with the EOC and with Precinct 1, and hopefully we're ready. We will be ready for the next event, and we're going to continue to help and participate and send resources up to Houston or to the coastal area if needed.
Right.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor.
I know that there were efforts from all the precincts, Commissioner Cantu's office, Commissioner Flores' office. There was constant communication with emergency management, and I know there was communication amongst the commissioners. Mr. Garza?
Correct. And I'd like to expand just while he's walking up here. I did reach out, to some of the other commissioners just to see if there were resources available in case we had or did experience, and they were very accommodating.
Good morning, Commissioners. We distributed a little over 10,000 bags. This was, as Mayor said, a good exercise for us. We have some new equipment that we were able to try for the first time. We have a Bobcat, which is one of those small tractors that had an attachment on it that was bagging about 15 bags within about 5 minutes. And so we were able to do a lot of those sandbagging activities, and we're glad to see that the equipment that we purchased works and worked very well for us. In addition to having 3 locations where we were distributing bags, We were distributing bags in North San Juan and in South Alamo in the Mexico Chiquito area that you may recognize. But in addition to that, we also delivered sandbags to 3 of the major flood-prone areas. So as opposed to having individuals coming to where we were at, we loaded up 3 flatbed trailers with sandbags and delivered it directly to those most flood-prone areas. Luckily, as we know, we weren't impacted, but it was good to see that we're ready to respond and ready to help in any way that we can. And so we thank the Commission for all their help and all their leadership during this time as well.
Also like to recognize IOC, who sent us over 1,000 bags and 25 tons of sand. They volunteered that, and we sent it over to our San Juan CRC. So thank IOC and all the volunteers that helped us bag bags.
And we had a lot of, we lucked out in that there was a lot of volunteers that are San Juan CRC and Alamo CRC that pitched in to start making bags immediately. So that made the process go a lot quicker. So yes.
Right. And Mr. Garcia, you just touched on a point. As a community, the community did come together with respect to volunteers and assisting, and we got phone call after phone call with respect to was there anything they could do to help us out administratively over and above the boots to the ground efforts that we're undertaking. I do want to acknowledge and our emergency management office worked with every precinct as well as all the officials here in the valley, as well as communicating with other officials outside the valley, those that were going to be and were impacted by Hurricane Harvey. The Rio Grande Valley Emergency Management Task Force, they sent out a medical team and an ambulance strike team out to Katy, Texas. The Mission McAllen, FAR, South Padre Island, Brownsville, STAC, Medcare, EMS, Scripture, Carousel, Transfer Star County, Laredo Fire, EMS, and Westco Ambulance Plus. They've all gone out there. The incident management team for the Rio Grande Valley was assigned to Fort Bend. That's inclusive of the Fire Marshal's Office, the Office of Emergency Management for the county, the FAR Fire Department, Cameron County Fire Marshal's Office, and the Brownsville Fire Department. The Rio Grande Valley Water Rescue Boat Squads, they also were assigned to Fort Bend County, and include the Westco, Brownsville, Mission, McAllen, and Edinburgh, as well as the pending assignment to Refugio for immunization of their residents through our Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. Judge Commissioners, again, that's just a very, very small, brief update with respect to the emergency efforts that were undertaken by the County of Hidalgo, as well as the residents assisting the County of Hidalgo. And one important factor is the social media went a long ways in getting the word out. Ms. Julia, do you want to just real quickly give the positive impact that you had with social media, especially as to information that was going out there that wasn't necessarily accurate?
Yes, good morning, Judge, Mr. Guetta, and Commissioners.
Good morning.
Julia Benitez Sullivan, Public Affairs Office. I'd like to say that that I do appreciate all the collaboration that goes in when we're running an emergency situation. We had an incident last night where a couple of our news outlets had erroneously reported that there might be gas shortages, which led to long lines at gas stations, shoving, people not behaving very well, calls to not only our sheriff's office, but to local police departments where they had to, in some cases, even direct traffic. The chief communicated with me about this and asked me to help spread the word that there is no gas shortage. And I hope that this goes out on anybody watching, that we continue to spread the word. There is no gas shortage, and we're not expecting gas shortages. Any gas shortages happen because of the run on gas at certain stations, just as if everybody suddenly went out to get milk and then the store ran out of milk, but they're getting more milk. So what we did was we contacted almost all of the news outlets, and this was about 9 o'clock last night, so we didn't have much time before the newspaper deadlines and before the 10 p.m. newscasts. Immediately, we posted on Facebook and we tweeted about that message that there is no gas shortage. And this is the results. So all of the TV stations, and including the Monitor, went ahead and helped us. They retweeted, they shared, they reported on that. In addition, our Facebook post reached over 705,000 people and was shared over 16,000 times, had over 2,800 likes. And the county's page, which anytime we post, if somebody has liked our page, they'll see our posts, that jumped by nearly 5,500 new likes, going up from about 6,500 to nearly 12,000 likes in just a few hours. Twitter was retweeted, our tweet was retweeted over 1,300 times and had nearly 800 likes. This is huge. This is big, and the county went viral, and the message got out, and along with our media partners, we got the word out, and hopefully things are subsiding and calming down. Chief Saldana spoke to most of the news organizations that I had contacted, or if not, I provided the quotes because of the deadlines that we posted that came from, with authorization from our Emergency Management Director, County Judge Ramon Garcia. So what this shows is that in an emergency, the Hidalgo County social media sites are an effective way to reach out to our community. It also showed that our good relationship with our news partners pays off, as they helped us share the message and calm down what was becoming a panic situation amongst our residents. So thank you to Chief Saldana. Thank you to our news media partners. Thank you for our county leadership. We're doing good.
Thank you. And Judge Commissioner, just to close off, again, you heard his name more than once now. Chief Saldana, I've been through my share of over my career of these types of situations, and it never ceases to amaze me the type of work that goes into coordinating all the efforts, all the manpower efforts, all the getting the word out to our constituents. And again, I was amazed at Chief Saldana's staff, and especially Chief Saldana with respect to him coordinating all the conference calls with the state, all the conference calls amongst ourselves, as well as his communication with those areas that were affected. Not to poke fun of it, but I told Chief that we needed to, we're talking to each other, late at night and early in the morning, that at some point that needed to stop. But again, I do want to for the constituents to know that Chief Saldana's staff, and especially Chief Saldana, with respect to his leadership and the experience that he brought when he came on board, went a long way in the coordinated efforts internally, as well as the coordinated efforts that he and the commissioners right now are working with our sister counties in aiding them.
One last thing, I know that you mentioned some of the Hidalgo County departments that assisted. I also want to recognize the Juvenile Probation Department.
Oh, yes.
And the Mario E. Ramirez Juvenile Justice Center Boot Camp, Judge Renee Betancourt, and the cadets. They helped us prepare 3,000 sandbags for distribution, so we appreciate their assistance as well.
Absolutely, Commissioner, and that goes towards what I said earlier. As a community, we came together in preparation, and it was, thankfully it was a good exercise on our part. Unfortunately, it did affect other areas of the state and those constituents, but we're doing what we need to do to assist them. Judge, that's all I have under my office. There's nothing under item 9A.
Victor wanted to say a couple
Oh,
words.
Victor, I'm sorry. My apologies. Mr. Gallardo.
Yes.
My apologies.
Precinct 3, Victor Agardo with the Commissioner Joe Flores' office, as well as the other precincts as well. We did put out there 16,000 sandbags, and with the help of Rick Saldana, he did give us an extra 10,000 additional empty bags, so we could help out the additional cities in our area from Sullivan City down to Palmview, including Alton, Palmhurst, and Granjeno, and Pinitas as well. And thanks for I guess the cooperation with the emergency management. that we're able to look to them in case we need other resources here in the future. Thank you.
Chief, you want to take this time to talk about what the county, what your involvement and the county's involvement in coordination of those efforts that you were talking to me about?
Judge and Commissioners, first of all, I want to thank you all and your chiefs of staff and your staffs for the coordinated effort that occurred last week. If you all remember watching the Weather Service, Hurricane Harvey was going to be a direct impact to the Rio Grande Valley on Monday. That's why in all our briefings, we kept telling you this storm was unpredictable. It even defied the Weather Service. It went in as a Category 4 hurricane. They were predicting it to go in as a Category 3. That's how unpredictable this storm was. But as of Monday last week, we were in direct hit of that storm. But it kept moving more to the east and more to the east. At one time, they spoke about it going into the Houston area, but it came in the Rockport, Port Aransas area. And it's unfortunate those two communities are devastated at the present time. Our coordinated efforts have been tremendous, not just within our county and all our partners, but we have deployed resources from our medical strike teams, our ambulance strike teams, from the Rio Grande Valley, our incident management teams, to include 2 of our employees from the Fire Marshal's Office and Emergency Management Office, to include the water rescue teams from the Type 3 Task Force out of the Rio Grande Valley, with groups out of Weslaco, Brownsville, Mission, McAllen, and Edinburgh. The medical strike team is composed of the South Padre Island, the City of McAllen, City of Mission, City of FAR, City of Weslaco. City of Weslaco's bus is sitting at the Brown Auditorium in Houston with a massive care unit there. Our ambulances are spread out through the Houston area, supporting the transport of those victims. Our IMT teams in Fort Bend County, currently assisting there. Our water teams are in Fort Bend County. They're out on recon missions right now in the water. We just got reported that one of the levees breached at the Brazos River. That's going to impact even further to the citizens up in that general area. So it has become a massive rescue efforts in the Houston metro area, Harris County metro area. We are getting ready to deploy some members from Precinct 4 with their traffic team to set up portable signs and vice versa. There's an overhead team out there in the Rockport, Fulton area currently. They're going to let us know if there's going to be any more resources of our public works team with grappler trucks, front-end loaders, things of that nature. The morgue trailer for Hidalgo County Health has already been on standby. Our hygiene trailer and other equipment is already also been put on standby to be moved up to the Rockport, Fulton area and Aransas Pass area. Our county is supporting the efforts in not just in the rescue efforts, but also in the recovery efforts. And thanks to each and every one of you all there up front and the leadership that you all have done, you've been allow us to make this happen and to support our members and our residents in this coastal Bend area. For all we know, by the time this is all over, we may end up in southeast Texas in the Beaumont, Port Arthur area after this storm goes through. But again, I appreciate what you all have done and allowed us to do to support those residents and those county officials and city officials where needed. It's just like the 2 mayors that came out yesterday from Rockport and Port Arthur. We don't need volunteers. We just need the prayers, because we're still trying to gather and find out what our needs are. And again, thank you all very much. One other thing, we met with all the chiefs of staff, with Mr. Guerra and the judge, and we decided on the humanitarian efforts that we were going to support the Rio Grande Food Bank and HEB in their endeavors of collecting the needs for those areas through them. And also the city of Edinburgh has also done the same thing, and they set up a little recouping area at their service center there by the police station. So we're encouraged the Hidalgo County family and the Hidalgo County residents to do that through the HEBs and through the activity center in Edinburgh to drop off your whatever needs to go to those impacted areas.
Chief, how many county employees do you have out there?
Right now, we only have 2. We're going to have about 60 if everything starts ramping up pretty quick or better.
And is the protocol being followed as to all of them to make sure that if they're in an accident, they get hurt or that there'll be coverage?
We are getting all those state resource requests. We're attaching them to the MOUs to get all of that done legally and correctly to protect our employees and the county of Hidalgo. Our employees are the number one thing that we need to protect.
Chief, one of the things that I noticed on Sunday when I was in the Rockport area was the fact that they're really needing a lot of assistance in assessing. The reason why they haven't came in with their petitions is because they're so short of staff and the expertise and the response. So one of the things that we're doing is taking off to the Fulton, Rockport, Port Aransas area just to assist in that aspect, not so much as crews just yet, but to help them just assess, because some of the smaller counties just don't have emergency service, emergency management teams or anything like that. So while Harris is being overshadowing all of those smaller counties, I think that's the best offer we can give them, is getting in there, at least helping them assess, and then they can come in with their petitions in regards to what type of equipment. So
yes,
that's one of the things that we'll be doing this afternoon as well.
And that's what, to add to that, Commissioner, that's why that overhead team is out there from the Rio Grande Valley doing those assessments to see what resources we can provide to them in the heavy equipment, the brush pickup, things of that nature, to assist on that. So again, to answer your question, Judge, right now we have 2. There's a possibility up to 60 by the end of the week she'll be deploying to the coastal bend area.
Very good, sir.
One last thing, and I think it'd be a mistake for all of us to skip over this, but the administrative side of budget, accounting, purchasing, the auditor's office, and expediting a lot of those POs that we needed in order to be able to be responsive, I'd like to extend my thanks to them as well.
Thank you, Commissioner, for bringing that up. Very important. Yes, sir, you are right. Again, Mr. Guerra, thank you for your support. Judge, thank you for your support. And commissioners, again, you and your chiefs of staff were awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. There was no action under item 9A, Health and Human Services Department. 9B, Mr. Olivares, there's nothing under the 1115 today, correct?
No, sir, we're good. Everything's good on all our items. Thank you, Mr. Guerra.
What is the amount that we're budgeting for this year's contribution?
Sir, this year with the budget office,
15 waiver.
for $5.5 million, sir, that's what was allocated in this year's budget, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other questions from anyone? Mr. Guerra, anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Judge, Commissioners, item 10A, adult probation. If I may, for adult probation, they're asking approval of certification of revenues as certified by our county auditor for the DWI grant program income in the amount of $2,213.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The second action item would be the approval to appropriate or the appropriation of the DWI program income in the amount of $2,213.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
There is no action under item 11A. There is no update for elections. So we go on to Mr. Gallardo for item 12.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Victor Guerra with the Office of Commissioner Joe Flores' office. Approval to accept right-of-way donation from Ms. Maribel Arniz for the Los Sevenos Road improvements, being .265 of an acre.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 13. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. This is for item 13A, approval of 2017 certification of revenues as certified by the county auditors for revenues received from the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 for reimbursement for the J09 drain project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And for item B, approval of 2017 appropriation of fund into Precinct 4 road maintenance in the amount of $117,638.32.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Purchasing Department, Martha Salazar. A, 15A1, Request an action to issue formal written notice to proceed effective September 1st, 2017, for the fully executed agreement between Hidalgo County and Jacobs Project Management Company for the provision of project management services for the design and construction of the new Hidalgo County Courthouse.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is approval to establish the following deadlines for the submission of requisitions for goods and/or services in order to receive prior to December 31st, 2017 for general fund and all other applicable funds, except law enforcement, which we know every year is exempted from this. Major purchases deadline October 31st, 2017, and daily purchases deadline November 17th, 2017.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 263-152 and a request from PSJ Independent School District Sergeant Leonel Trevino Elementary, action including but not limited to the approval to declare surplus and or salvage unused badge holders. There's 150 count, which were found discarded in the county's warehouse, and research cannot determine its origin or acquisition or purchase with no useful purpose, so as no department has requested, including HR, which uses a different type of ID for ID purposes. Can we have the surplus or salvage, please, first?
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
There is a duly noted concern. Given the work involved by staff to get this in Commissioner's Court, I chose this route. We can, if the court so wishes, as I responded in my concern letter, proceed after we do B to ask PSJ School District for an interlocal and ratify it later. Right now, these badges are needed for security purposes for the children to create their IDs. And so on B, I'm asking to donate the badges to PSJ ISD, Sergeant Leonel Trevino Elementary, for their students for safety purposes. Now, we cannot ascertain when these were purchased. We found them in our surplus warehouse. We asked HR because they're the ones who use badges. But as the auditor noted, we can proceed to turn them over and then proceed with an ILA if the court so wishes. I just thought the time and money of staff involved in doing all of that, I was trying to get it done as expediently as possible since the school year started.
Okay. You're recommending approval?
Yes.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, this is pursuant to Hidalgo County Commissioners Court regular agenda in November and the current agreement between Hidalgo County SO and Mayo Westwood Pharmacy Incorporated, DBA Westwood Pharmacy, of amend Exhibit B. We've done 3 to reflect the additional listing of legend and non-legend pharmaceuticals prescribed by physicians, titled Exhibit B4. This is to include those that were not on the original list.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is Precinct 3, requesting authority to purchase one 2018 Freightliner M2-10670 equipped with one Bird Camp FP5 flameless pothole patcher for a total of $174,959, including delivery through requisition number 348-351 through the HGAC Council of Governments awarded vendor. Contract number HT06-16.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Under open forum,
We have one presenter, Ms. Fern McClarity. I will remind everybody in the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There are 3 minutes, and I will advise when there's 1 minute left.
Okay, I'm the one that had asked about the badges. How many other things do we have in the county that we don't know who purchased them, why we purchased them, or whatever? So I wish y'all would kind of check into that. And then I got this article out of the Monitor, I believe yesterday or Sunday's, and it says Commissioners Court to cut taxes in 2018 after 15 years of no tax increases. Well, you should have said tax rate because our taxes have gone up. In 2001, our net taxable was $13,686,000. $700,530,430. At the end of 2002, it had gone up $14,535,934,077. In 2017, I looked it up, and it is $33,736,389,208. So our taxes have gone up considerably, their appraised values. So the tax rate should be stated, not that our taxes, because our taxes go up each and every year. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge?
Pursuant to 551-071 and 072.
Judge,
Monday.
my apologies. It is 10:30. Can we recess this meeting and then open up the 10:30 meeting? It's for the
mutual aid
the mutual aid
Oh,
agreements
yes.
for the assistance as a result of
All right, at this time, we're going to be recessing our regular meeting and convening our special meeting.
Ms. Marty?
Yes, sir. This is a 2A pursuant to current master agreement for mutual aid, Article 6, and Texas Government Code 418-109D, requesting authority to render aid to another local government entity requesting assistance to the county judge while acting in accordance with Hidalgo County's Emergency Action Plan, disaster declaration areas affected by Hurricane Harvey.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
And a motion to adjourn that special meeting.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And I'll
Can
reconvene.
we go back to our regular meeting?
This time, we're going to reconvene our regularly posted meeting, and pursuant to 551-071 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We'll be in executive session. All right, we are back in open session. Mr. Guerra?
Thank you, Judge. Item 19, open session. 19A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there's no action to be taken. 19B, pending and or potential litigation, there's no action to be taken. 19C, cause number 709CB23, United States of America versus .78 acres of land, more or less situated in Hidalgo County, state of Texas, and Augusta O. Champion III et al. in the United States District Court of Southern District, Texas County. Judge, Commissioners, if we could have, I would ask the court entertain action to accept, with respect to this case involving the county, to accept waiver of service and the disclaimer document, as well as authorizing Judge Garcia, our county judge, to sign all needed documents.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And claim of Juana Vasquez, Angel Vasquez, and minor Sofia Vasquez. Judge Commissioners, for the record, this will be facilitated and handled by our Civil Litigation Division, Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office. If I could just, for the record, have a motion to that
Move for
effect.
approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And claim of Ramona C. Aguilar. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $135.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Claim of Anthony Hernandez. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $2,611.27.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, there's no need to go back to close or open, and we have adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.